Hey there. So I am back for our next part of our social emotional learning series. So we are making our way right down this list and we are going to talk about feelings and emotions today. And gosh, this is a really big one, but we're going to keep it short and sweet and condensed like all of the others. We'll talk through a kid-friendly definition, activities that we can do with kids, and picture books. But this is the one that I have so many activities and so many picture books for. It was hard to narrow the list down. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we are talking about helping kids to understand what feelings are versus emotions, here are some kid-friendly definitions. So they are different, and a lot of people don't realize that they are. They're not the same thing. So emotions are our body's response to some sort of external stimuli, right? So that sensory input, remember, enters into our brain and then we respond in some way. So those are our emotions, what our body does. Feelings are the mind's reaction to those emotions. So that's kind of the best way, the easiest way we can put it to kind of differentiate between these two. So our emotions are what our body does in response to stimuli or sensory input. Feelings are then what our mind does after our body or in response to what our body does. Um, all right, so let's talk through some activities. And like I said, there are so many activities that we could do. But here are some great ones. First and foremost, we need to start helping our kids understand how their brain works. If we want them to understand why they're feeling a certain way, or why they are emotional over this thing or that thing, then we need to teach them what is happening in their brain and how their brain is processing these things. So that is probably one of the most, if not the most important thing that we can do with our kids. Other ideas, and I'm going to skip down the list because another really important thing that we need to do with kids in order to help them understand their feelings and their emotions is give them the words. So almost halfway down the list, you'll see teach emotional vocabulary words. We have to provide them with the words to use so that once they know that they're feeling something, they recognize that. We need to give them the words to label it. We can't get to self-regulation without being able to verbalize how we're feeling. So that's really important. And you can find emotional vocabulary word lists on the internet. You can just be more aware of it when you're teaching your kids or your students or asking them questions. How do you feel? Fine. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't really tell us much, right? So let's go deeper. So giving them those words. We can do that through using emojis, right? This is huge with this generation, using emojis to describe how we are feeling and talking about what each of those emojis means. Some of them I don't even know. I look at my phone sometimes and I think I have no idea what feeling that emoji is trying to convey. So you can talk about that and brainstorm that with kids. What do you think it's conveying? Oh, you think something different? Let's talk about that. The Disney Pixar movie Inside Out, amazing movie to springboard discussion. There's so many activities. If you go online and you do a search, you will find so many ideas for using that movie. And it is just so perfect for teaching kids, right? It's just a really great and really important movie. Using picture books, that's what this whole thing has been about, right? And I'm going to give you a whole bunch of ideas. But using not even just picture books, any books, talking about how the characters in those books are feeling. How do we know they're feeling that? What in their speaking, what in the writing is telling us they're feeling that way? How do we know that? What can we glean from the text, right? And that's getting into some deeper reading comprehension skills too that are really important. Doing a feelings clip chart. So, how are we feeling each day as kids enter your room or as your own kids wake up in the morning? How are they feeling? It's sort of like we have one on our refrigerator, sort of has the little magnet frame that you can move around to the different emoji faces. How are you feeling today? You can use something like that with kids to kind of gauge where they're coming in each morning, right? A feelingsometer is a way of helping kids understand not only what um, feeling they are experiencing, but are they feeling a lot of that feeling or a little of that feeling? So my kids made one of these years ago, and it was on a paper plate, with the traditional brad through the middle and the arrows, that you can spin around. Um, and it was, we listed different feelings. So it might say happy, sad, lonely, list 5 or 6 different feelings on the paper plate. But then add this additional component of, are you feeling um, high happy, medium happy, or low happy? And what does that mean? So, low happy is maybe you woke up this morning and everything is just fine. It's a normal day. There's nothing super exciting, right? But you're happy, you're in a good mood. Whereas high happy might be, I woke up this morning and today is the day we're getting on a plane to go to Disney World. And I am so happy and so excited. That's the difference between low versus high happy. So we can help kids understand that we can feel kind of different variations of these feelings as well. Color associations. If you have a kid that thinks a little bit differently about things, talking about what colors might we associate with different feelings and incorporating that into an art lesson, or something along those lines, or an art project. We often, and there are lots of picture books that support this also, but we talk about, the color blue. What does that mean? Does and sometimes we think of blue as being sad or lonely. Red is angry, yellow is happy. So associate those colors. You can do an emotion sort where you're cutting things out of magazines or printing pictures off the internet and then sorting those into different categories. And the last one is great really for any age, but particularly as our kiddos get a little bit older, helping them make personal connections to writing and art and how that makes them feel. And what part of that writing or what part of that artwork is conveying that feeling or making them feel that way. That's a great activity. All right, so on to our list of picture books, which, oh gosh, like I said, I love picture books so much, and I have so many favorites. It's ridiculous. So it was really hard to narrow down this list, but here are some great ones. So yes, you even got a double list today because there are so many really good ones. And of course, the list goes on and on. But here are some that I've discovered that, and a lot of these are maybe some of the lesser known ones that might not be quite as mainstream as the ones that our kids, traditionally read in class, or that we hear a lot about. So I hope you check out some of these books and you love them as much as I do. So I hope that you got some great ideas today. And I hope that you're enjoying this series and you're following along. And I will see you back here next time. We're almost, I think, halfway through our list, or maybe a little bit more. So I've been really enjoying this, and I hope that you have been too. So I'll see you back here next time.